This is Brian Javelin of the Contractor Show. Many of our viewers continue to ask us about different ways to advertise their business to potential customers, and I'm happy to announce that today we have Seann Campbell of TheHomeMag. TheHomeMag is a printed media form of delivery to homeowners, and it gives them inspiration and makes them think differently on how they want to remodel and enhance their homes. Seann, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Seann, you publish a magazine that inspires, and I guess the good word to focus in is inspiration. So what do you do that helps homeowners think differently when it comes to enhancing their property?
Well, Brian, what we do is we don't have any editorial in the magazine. All we have is magnificent photographs of concepts and ideas from various contractors. Every page is a quality photograph of a concept or an idea from a local contractor. And that's very important to notice that this is a local magazine and it's local information and local contractors. And that's really how we inspire the reader to take action.
So simply put, visualization equals the inspiration to enhance their home.
Absolutely.
Okay. When it comes to the average homeowner is bombarded with all different communications electronically, emails, attachments, and so forth, and your magazine comes to their mailbox. Explain the different way of thinking that this magazine shows up at their door through a print media as opposed to the different forms of electronic media that are taking place today.
Actually, what we're doing is we're putting it in the eyes of the homeowner, but more importantly so, it arrives in the mailbox, but so does a lot of other media. People are now selective, and if you've got a really quality publication that doesn't look like something that you would be given for free, in other words, it looks like something you would almost subscribe to, that is really why the magazine is so effective, because people start throwing all the mail out and then they get to the HomeMag and then they stop and they obviously keep that. It's got a shelf life of about 35 days.
Really? Well, you're afraid that this delivery method is ever going to become extinct? Just based on too many people running to different electronic forms of commerce, delivery of their newsletters and so forth?
It's a good thought, and obviously everybody in the media, male media, probably have this concern. And it's not really a concern of mine, because I think that the day that the mailbox disappears from the front lawn of a property or a home is the day that I'll worry, and I think that's probably in a few generations.
Okay, so that's probably yours and mine grandchildren. We'll worry about that then. Okay, fantastic answer. Well, many of our viewers might become first-time advertisers for your magazine or some other type of medium. What do you think would be a common misunderstood concept that would appear when somebody's advertising for the first time?
Well, what advertisers tend to feel is that they put the ad out there, they paid their money to be in the magazine, and when the phone rings, they've still got to be able to sell themselves or sell their various services. They've got to be able to close the deal. And many times we'll get advertisers that perhaps get a lot of calls but don't get a lot of work. And by the way, Brian, while I'm on that topic, we go the extra mile and we actually monitor these calls and we can assist them where they can't close the advertiser.
Well, many of our viewers may be asking, how do they know their advertising is working in general? And so, Seann, for like the HomeMag, give an example of how you get to prove to your advertisers that indeed their advertisement is working and soliciting leads for them.
Yes, and I advise everybody to track whichever medium they're using. We have a tracking device that allows the advertiser to look at all the results on his PC.
Well, another thing I guess to elaborate on to the viewers is that every incoming call, every email where you're soliciting a new customer, you should always know where did that lead come from. Clearly be able to better target how your message is getting out there, because you know how your name is getting out there by asking.
And I think, Brian, just to add to that, advertising should always be looked at as a return on investment. How much am I putting out there and what am I getting back for spending that money?
Okay. Well, when it comes to advertising, another word that we sometimes throw around there is focused advertising. And how could a contractor consider focused advertising as a better way to promote a better image of the service that they provide?
Well, it's very important that you focus in your advertising. When I use a focused medium, when people are looking at a certain product or a certain publication, their mind is obviously on something. And if your perhaps your $50,000 kitchen was next to a pizza coupon or next to an oil change. It's not really focusing on, the service provided. What we do is we use a focused medium so that when the reader is busy paging through, they're on the same topic, their mind is on the topic of their home, and obviously every page is stimulating them to home improvement. And we go back to inspiring again. And I don't know about you, but I don't think there's anything inspiring about an oil change next to a kitchen.
Okay. And that's the generic versus the stay focused to what do you do, and basically associate yourself with other people that are all staying very targeted to a different aspect of, say, remodeling a kitchen and all the different facets of remodeling a kitchen, rather than going to your car or something unrelated to the house.
Sure.
Okay. Well, many of our viewers may be thinking about advertising for the first time. And Seann, I guess I would like to ask you, what would you suggest to our viewing audience to help them make a decision whether to advertise or not?
Well, I think the first question one's got to ask oneself is, how busy do I want to be? Do I want a company that's larger than the one I've got? Do I want to grow my business? And what sort of clients do I really want? And after you've answered those questions, you've decided, I want to grow my business and be more successful. At that point, okay, well, let's do some effective advertising. And when I say that, our company, TheHomeMag, we are very responsible for growing a tremendous amount of businesses in our local communities. So one thing I do know is once they've made that decision, they've made a decision to go into a focused medium, and the very important other thing, of course, is that the distribution is correct. When all that is in place, the phone will ring because you're actually inspiring all these homeowners.
And advertising then is an investment, and it's a way to simply grow the business or not grow the business and just be status quo.
That's correct.
In your opinion, it's a tight economy out there, especially that we're in the year 2008, and we all know it's going to be a tough ride this year. How has the economic environment impacted contractors' decisions to advertising and to either scale up or scale down?
What's actually happening out there is that there are a tremendous amount of contractors that have been relying on the home builders, and they've been using home builders for business for 15 years. And these people are now looking at a situation where they don't know where the next job's coming from. So what we're finding right now is that we're taking that contractor and we're teaching them how to become a retailer rather than a wholesaler. And they're now advertising in our medium, and they are now getting the home improvement market for the first time. So that's sort of what's going on out there. What's also happening is that people are having to advertise more so now than they used to, because there are less jobs out there, and the people that are exposing themselves out there to the homeowner, those are the people that are going to get the calls.
Seann, I want to thank you very much for joining our viewership.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much for coming today.
Nice.
Again, this is Seann Campbell, and his publication is TheHomeMag. Again, TheHomeMag.com. Seann, thank you so much, very much, for both the homeowners as well as the contractors. My name is Brian Jowlin of The Contractor Show, and we look forward to seeing you soon.